Oh yeah, new intro done by Joe Lawrence of More Sense Designs. Thank you so much, Joe, for that. Yeah, hopefully you guys like that. I like that. It's still got the same song, so there you go. But it's got some past clips and cool stuff. So it's been a while. It's been a while, folks. I know you guys have been like, whatever happened to that Merlo guy? I know. I hear ya. I hear ya. Just know that things are rolling with the movie, and that's basically the biggest reason why you haven't seen much of me lately. But it's starting to come back. I'm not quite as busy as I was before, but I'm still busy. Because pre-production is something I take very, very seriously. I don't want to rush it because your movie can be made in pre-production. With the budget we have so far, it's like, woo, I gotta really try to make a lot of contacts with a lot of different people to save money here in as many places as possible. So that's why I've been pretty distant as of late. Mind you, I also since the last time I was on this doing this, I was in Nashville at the end of September, early October, doing the Macabre Fair Film Festival, which was very, very fun. Thank you to Adam Ginsberg and Addison Ginsberg for having me, showing my film, doing some crowdfunding seminars. That was a lot of fun, being a part of some really cool panels. Met a lot of awesome people. That was a really, really fun film festival. If you're in the Nashville area and you want to check out a good film festival, if you want to enter your film into a film festival, that's the one, man. That was a really cool film festival. It is truly about the filmmakers, and I was so excited to be a part of it. So thank you guys so much for inviting me down. That was just a lot of fun. So it looks like we've got a pretty full chat, so I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat real quick. Susie Lopez, A.S. Ramirez, HHN, Freak, Undead Vampire. Thank you. Missed you too. Hello, missed you too. I'm not sure if you're in the chat right now. I think Susie usually leaves these like at least a few hours in advance. But if you are in the chat, say hi again. Just to let me know that you are around. Michelle Blasky. Hey, Steve. Looking forward to the show tonight. Thank you, Michelle. Bill D. Russell, who's in Unseen. He's going to be in our film, and probably has an idea of a lot of the stuff I've been juggling around. So glad to have you here there too, Bill. And my pal, John from Behind the Fiends. Hey, John, how are you doing, man? We've been keeping in touch fairly well lately, but yeah, I've not been doing this, and I've missed it. It's been over a month. It's been probably like more than 6 weeks, probably. Too long. And I apologize, guys. I'm going to do my best to get back to this. I hopefully won't go 6 weeks again or anything like that. I doubt it, but 6, 7 weeks, maybe almost 2 months. I don't know. I have to double check to see when the last one was. It was in September. It's November now. So, I used to do this like once a week. I used to. Once a week, once every 2 weeks. But I've been doing it for what, 3 years now? Has it been 3? I think it's been 3 years since 2020. It's 2023 now. Yeah. So, and this is only episode 80. 20 away from 100. We'll get there. But yeah, when I first started, doing them fairly often. But haven't had a chance to do them as much lately. But I'm getting back into the swing of things with social media and stuff like that. So I do plan on doing this show more, and hopefully get to those 100 shows in. Definitely not by the end of the year, but within a year or so would be nice. It's possible. I think I can for sure get to my 100th show. We'll do a big big show for my 100th show. Really big. Tonight will be fun though too. Looks like we also oh god, I'm missing a lot of chats here. Bootleg 317. Yeah, I think it's been a while since we've seen you too, man. Good luck with everything, man. Thanks so much. Nerd King Productions. What's up, Steve? Thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in. Who else we got? We got Jamie Hill, who's also in the movie as well on the scene. Thanks for tuning in, Jamie. King Dime Zach. Hey, that's our buddy Aaron. Aaron, who was a big part of the Sawyer Massacre. He was in the movie to a small degree. And, it was just an awesome supporter. Thank you for tuning in. Nona Chan is here as well. Sorry I'm late. Don't be sorry. You're here, and you're really not that late. It's like 5 minutes, so. And the whole first part of the show is me saying hi to all you guys. So you made it into my highs, so that's always good. Bill D. Russell, and don't forget that Felissa Rose and I will both be at Days of the Dead in Chicago this weekend. Yes, both Bill and Felissa from Unseen will be at Days of the Dead in Chicago. Go check them out if you're in the Chicago area. I am not in the Chicago area, but maybe there's a chance we can get a live stream going while you guys are doing that. I've been trying to get in touch with Felissa, and I've been told that, yes, she's just been super busy. I get it. She does a lot of these cons and stuff like that. But, Bill, if you're there with her and you say, hey, let's do a live stream to support Unseen, that'd be pretty awesome. That'd be pretty cool to get her to do something. Maybe even get you guys on a YouTube live stream like this. Maybe. I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to it, that's for sure. Doing good, man. Just working, says John. Awesome. Can't stay very long about my job. Things I hate. Things, no worries. No worries. No, glad you could make it at all. So that's really good. And, while you guys are all here, just make sure if you can, hit that like button. It really helps, or the dislike button, whichever one you prefer to hit. If you don't like me, you can do that. I've said that many times. You can hit either or. But hit one of them if you can. Hit one of those buttons just to make sure the algorithm helps this channel grow, and subscribe if you already have them. But, you don't have to subscribe, whatever. The like button, though, is very key. Very key. Well, a little bit key. Little bit key. We got some shout-outs we're going to do. Got our regular shout-outs. Not so regular anymore, I know, but, my shout-outs. And Michelle Apollonia of Breathless Beauties. I don't know where she's been. Well, I do know a little bit. I mean, she's at home, and she just, she can't really go on this show anymore, unfortunately. But she does these awesome horror-themed dolls. As far as I know, she's still doing them. I've told her that I'm still giving her shout-outs on this show, and she hasn't told me to stop, so I'm going to keep doing them unless she tells me to stop. Hey, there's Leatherface. And there's our buddy Brett Man from Good Real Hunting, and he's a big Scream fan, so there you go. He's got Ghostface with him. Michelle Apollonia made all that stuff. And a shout-out to Michelle B. We have Michelle A. and Michelle B. They've been watching me do this show from the start. Ms. 44, she does really cool, obscure art. It's on Redbubble. We have all the links to this stuff in the description, so go check it out. I don't know, Michelle, if this one's still available, I might just how much is it? I don't know. There's something about this one that I really love. I love it. Love it. And Leatherface. Who couldn't love Leatherface, right? Who couldn't love Leatherface? Speaking of Michelle Blasky, a couple weeks ago, if you haven't seen it yet, you guys should go see it. The third channel was released a couple weeks ago. I was going to try my darndest to do this show like before the third channel was released. That was just proven to be too difficult. It was just so many things going on. Michelle asked me to do a live stream with her, in which I can only, give her about 20 minutes of my time because there's just so much stuff going on that I just couldn't get around to it. I really would have loved to have done a live stream to promote the third channel, but it's out now. It's over 2,000 views now. Let's get those views up. Link is in the description. I think it's like the first or second link in the description to go check out the third channel. It's done pretty well. It's got some okay ratings on IMDb. I've checked that out. Let's get them up to 100 ratings on IMDb. I think it's about 80 right now. So let's get them up. Get her up to 100 ratings as soon as possible. But it's been out for a couple of weeks. And we're actually going to talk about it a little bit tonight because this is a Halloween chat that we're going to have here tonight. We're going to really talk about the whole franchise because a lot of stuff has gone down with the franchise. The rights of, Miramax has the rights now and all that stuff. And, there's a lot to talk about. Plus, I've now seen Halloween Ends. I never did a review or anything or a chat about Halloween Ends. We're going to chat about Halloween Ends a little bit here tonight. So you guys can finally hear what I think of it. And I know it's been more than a year since it came out, but I finally saw it. When did I see it? I think back in September. So it was like nearly a year after it had been released. I finally saw it. I'll share you guys my opinion. More Sense Designs, art, graphics guy. That's Joe Lawrence, the man, the myth, the legend. This guy. Yes, there he is. Hey, there you go. And we've been opening the show with that on our screen for about 30 seconds or so. Oh my God. But yeah, jolly old pig. Yeah, she likes it. I love that pig, Michelle. But Joe says, hey Steve, nice intro. Hello, I hope everything's doing great. Yeah, we did the intro worked out well. It worked out well, and we should have the outro. This apparently last time the outro cut out. That was through StreamYard though. I have problems with the StreamYard. There's a lot of stuff I don't really care about with the StreamYard. Maybe those things would go away if I upgraded and got like the paid version, but I haven't. We'll see. Bill says, can do. How? I don't know if you're talking to somebody else, Bill. Halloween Ends, a.k.a. Boo, it's Corey. I wonder who could play Dr. Loomis. Yeah, no kidding. We're going to talk about all this stuff. Bill would make a great Dr. Loomis, though. I think he would. If you're going to go that route. But we're going to talk about that more closer to the end of this live stream. But we're going to get into it now. Okay, so let's talk Halloween. Now, you guys probably know I'm a pretty big Halloween fan. And overall, it is my favorite horror franchise. It is my favorite horror franchise, even though there are some movies in this series that I just can't stand. But because we've got Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, it is my favorite horror franchise because of those 4 movies. We got 4 movies that I can say I really, really like or I absolutely love. And that's those 4 movies. Those 4 movies. Beyond that, it's like, meh, or God, that was bad. For the most part, meh, God, that was bad. But just because of that, I can't say that there's any other horror franchise that I really like 4 movies from. So for that alone, Halloween is my favorite horror franchise, and the original Halloween is my third. I still have it as my third favorite horror film of all time. I've said all this before, but that original film is just, it's a masterpiece. I mean, yes, it has some flaws. Now, when I say masterpiece, it doesn't mean perfect. I just want you guys to know that I don't think anything is perfect. I wish that word didn't exist. Nothing is a perfect 10 out of 10. So it's got to be at least a 9.9. So no such thing as perfect. So I just want to be very clear in my mind, anyways. You guys, if you guys want to believe in absolute perfection, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I personally don't. I don't believe in absolute perfection, and I can point out the flaws in the original Halloween, even though it's my third favorite horror film of all time, and definitely has a spot, probably in my at least my top 50 films of all time somewhere. Which maybe that doesn't sound really good to you guys, but for me, a guy who's seen a ton of movies and has so many films that I really really love. It's tough. It's tough for me to even make a top 200 or something. A lot of those films I really really love. Some I still couldn't put in my top 200 or so. Because even though I really love them, because you can only fit so many. I've seen some movies. I'm sure most of you guys have too. But yes, I mean, they did the sequel, Halloween 2. Now that used to be my favorite, my favorite sequel. And back in the day, I really didn't like Halloween 3. But Halloween 2, I still look at it as a pretty solid sequel. I think it does have some issues, and I saw a podcast probably about a month ago from the guys from the Slaughtered Lamb. I don't know if you guys know them. They're cool guys. Go check them out. They're on YouTube. They got a pretty good following. The Slaughtered Lamb on YouTube. It's just a couple guys chatting, and they were talking about favorite things in the Halloween movies or something like that. And they mentioned the beginning of Halloween 2, and they said how it flows from Halloween 1 into Halloween 2, like they're seamless. I mean, yeah, like there was, like everything was like dead on. And I'll be honest, guys, I can't disagree more on that. After I even put it in their comments, I gotta disagree with you guys on that. There are some major issues with that opening scene that do not fit well with the end of Halloween 1. First off, the lighting is way different. If you really look at it, I wish I had put some clips back to back. The lighting is just way different when Loomis comes out the door. I believe there's a porch light on, but even when the porch light was on in the earlier scenes, which is earlier in the night, had that blue sort of contrast look to it. I don't think the porch light was should have been on though, but again, you can imply that he turned it on. So that doesn't bother me too much, but the lighting of it itself, it's more of a off-white with a bit of tinge of yellow. So that color difference goes from that blue to that yellow tinge, and it's off. It's off. It's not the same, and it feels weird that they tacked the end of the original Halloween, and then they go to that. It feels weird, and the tone of it feels strange. I may have talked about this before on this show. I'm not sure, but even Loomis's acting is a bit weird. It seems a bit off, but there is that imprint of Michael Myers in the grass, and if you look at the end of Halloween 1, when all of a sudden Michael Myers is just gone, there is no imprint where he left off. In fact, there's hardly any grass. It's more dirt. There's a little bit of grass, and there's you could see like a tree stub or something like that. There's really no grass, and there's no imprint. And when he gets out, there's a full lawn and this big imprint, and it just doesn't make sense to me why they did that. We all know how it ended, how Halloween 1 ended. We didn't need to see that. We didn't need to see that imprint to imply, oh, that's where Michael fell. So I'm just saying, I thought that was very strange that they thought that I love those guys though. Great, they have a great podcast. But man, if they ever had me on their show, I would point that out, and I would bring the pictures to show, and you could see these differences quite clearly, in my opinion. But I do love Halloween 2 as well. Definitely not as much as the first Halloween. You could definitely tell they're trying to go for something more gory. I think by that point, Friday the 13th had really taken off and that kind of stuff, so they really felt like they had to up their gore game. So they did, and had a lot of kills, and there was a lot of gore, and I don't know. Some of it works for me, some of it not so much. I think there's some jump scares in there that weren't very good. Some of them were good, but there was a couple that the security guard in the dumpster, and I think a cat jumps out. I hate those jump scares. I hate those ones. They're so stupid. But it still built a fair amount of atmosphere in that hospital, and you got Michael going through the hallways and stuff like that, and is he going to find Jamie Lee Curtis or Laurie Strode, whatever, or not? But anyways, that's all good. And then Halloween 3, of course, I used to hate it. Well, I wouldn't say hate it, but I never used to like it because, again, it was different. But, as I got older and was understanding the themes to it, love it now. Halloween 4, that was one of the first ones I ever that was my first Halloween experience, was Halloween 4, because it came out in 1988. I was 8 years old, and it was the first Halloween film I saw a trailer on TV for. So that's why that one kind of always sticks out in my mind a little bit. And then, Halloween 5, it's pretty much, after that, it's not very good. Again, I don't know. Some of them are okay, but for the most part, and they keep doing this. They keep trying to change things up. I get it. Okay, this is not canon now. Okay, so we're ignoring Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5. We're ignoring those, and we're starting all over like they did with this new thing. And you know what? Actually, I was cool with that. If you're going to do a Michael Myers film, and we'll talk about this later, I think you probably do want to just retcon all the other films, just to keep it fresh, But anyways, let's talk. Oh, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat a little bit first. I probably won't be able to read all of your chats, guys, because I know you guys have been going. Joe from More Sense Design says, "Hey Michelle, congrats on 2,000 views. It's awesome." There you go. Oh yeah, I don't know, John, if you talked to Joe yet, but John is looking for some thumbnail designs for his channel. Maybe you could help him out. Yeah, got you guys chat and go with that. Some thumbnail help if anyone want to sneak in my DMs. So Joe, that's you. Joe from More Sense Design, that's you. They say they want to do a TV series. Now, yeah, I heard that. We'll get there. TV series could be interesting. But again, we'll see. Congrats, Michelle. Thanks a million, Joe. Thanks for the awesome CGI work. Yeah, man, Joe, you did great work with the graphics, man. Great work. John, you need a thumbnail? Let me know. There you go. You guys get the ball rolling there. Nobody does better than Joe. Like, Joe's doing my thumbnails now for the last 3 episodes of this show. I was doing them before, and I'm just, as you can see with what I was doing before, very, very basic. I don't really have a lot of skills. So, Joe really knows what he's doing. Go with Joe. Always go with Joe. That's what I'll say. Behind the Fiends, Daniel Harris to me saved 4 and 5. And the mask continuity, don't get me started. Well, I still don't mind. I still actually like the mask from Halloween 4. Not so much Halloween 5, but Halloween 4. I do like it. It's not supposed to be the original mask. It's supposed to look like the original mask, but it's not supposed to actually be the original mask. So that's why I'm okay with it. And there is something spooky about it. There's a spookiness to it. So I actually don't mind the Halloween 4. I know a lot of people hate that mask, but I actually like it. And maybe it's nostalgia. Again, that was the first Michael Myers mask I ever saw on those trailers when I was a kid, the TV spots. And I saw that guy, and I was like, that's a scary guy. He's so much scarier than Jason and Freddy, because Jason and Freddy were very popular at that time. I'm like, how come this is the first time I'm hearing of this guy? Well, it's because the last Halloween movie came out in 1981 with Michael Myers, of course. And I was just one. I was too young to know anything about that stuff. But, throughout the mid-'80s, you're hearing a lot about Freddy and a lot about Jason. My older brother loved Freddy. none of us really cared much for Jason. I don't know. None of us were big Jason fans. I think we had a Jason hockey mask once that we thought, dress up as Jason for Halloween or something. But I don't know. Michelle, thanks so much, John. You're welcome. Talking to each other, great. What's this today? Thanks. You guys are just mostly talking to each other, which is all good. 2 should have ended with Myers. Should have ended the Myers saga, and then from 3 on should have been an anthology series. Now here's my kind of take on that a bit. That was what John Carpenter wanted to do, was just end the whole Myers thing, and then there's more freedom to do anthology type stuff, or just end the series altogether. But I think he was cool with doing the anthology stuff because he kind of wanted to steer it that direction. Anyways, he never really wanted to do Halloween 2, and I still maintain that if there never was a Halloween 2, the way it was. What is Halloween 3 would have been Halloween 2, and I think it would have been better received, personally, because, Michael Myers wasn't a household name after the first one. He was just the boogeyman, and, I'm sure audiences would have liked to have seen a return to that story, but, it feels like a good one-off when you watch just that one. But as soon as you bring him back for a sequel, now he's the face of the franchise, right? And I think that's what kind of soured fans a bit, because you bring him back just once, all of a sudden he's the face of the franchise. And also remember this: the name Michael Myers was never mentioned in the original film. I know I've said that before. So again, you don't have a household name. He was just the boogeyman. But to me, the boogeyman's even better, or the Shape, as he was credited. He was never actually referred to as Michael Myers, though, in the entire first film. That name really didn't come to life until the sequel and the whole brother and sister angle and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I always kind of, I'd hate to see Halloween 2 never exist, but at the same time, if that movie didn't exist, I think we would have had some better sequels. I hate to say it, because I do love Halloween 2, but I just imagine if they went right into the anthology stuff right away. I just think we would have had some better sequels after that, and, return to the, put them as like, offshoots of each other. This Halloween series is the Boogeyman series, and then this one is the Season of the Witch series. They're all under the Halloween umbrella, and I think it'd be cool if you did all their separate stories, and then had, like, once you got to like the 10th movie, combine all the stories and they all fit together, something cool like that. That's just my thoughts. Laura never got that Coke from. He never did. No. Oh, she never did, I should say. Never got that Coke from Jimmy. Last Guest is pretty awesome, though. Last Starfighter, which was written and directed by Nick Castle, by the way. Coincidence? Probably not really, actually. I bet they're a pretty tight group. I think that's why they all kind of work together. But yeah, Nick Castle, I believe he wrote or co-wrote and directed the Last Starfighter, which starred Lance Guest, who played Jimmy in Halloween 2. Coincidence? And also in Halloween 2 is a cameo from Saturday Night Live's very own Garth, Dana Carvey. I don't even know if you really even see his face, but he's like the assistant to the news reporter that you see there. So you might even get like the side of his face. I'm like, oh, okay, that is Dana Carvey, and he's credited in the movie. So, coincidence? Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, Wayne's World, Michael Myers. Coincidence? Yes, coincidence, but it's kind of cool. I don't know if I've talked about that before on this. I might have. I don't know. I've talked Halloween many times before on the show. Hey, our buddy Mario from Degree Centigrade is here. Good evening, Steve. Thanks for tuning in there, Mario. Glad you can make it. I know it's been a while. I think he felt like he kept doing them, He wanted them to. He would have watered it down and made it mean less. Yeah, that I think was the whole thing. You know, you can only do that Michael Myers story so much before it's like, okay, enough. I feel like that's definitely where we're at now. Um, I I don't know if there's a good Halloween movie now that's gonna come out, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm always open to it, but man, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna talk Halloween ends here in just a bit. I kind of like the brother and sister angle. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't mind it, but nah, I'm not a huge. I mean, it was definitely. I don't know. You could definitely tell Carpenter was like, I don't know what else to do to make this interesting. We got to have some sort of twist. What else can you do? Okay, he's after her because she's his sister, and you know, he's attacked one sister already. Okay, that makes sense. That was the only thing that kind of made sense. So, I mean, I definitely don't think it was bad writing by Carpenter. It was just like, what else can you do? It doesn't feel really great, though. I can't, I don't look at that angle and be like, oh my God, you know, like I would want to be, but it was kind of like, what else do you do? And Bill Warlock cameo. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about there, Michelle. Dana Carvey was in the old show Blue Thunder 2 prior to SNL. There you go. Never seen that show. Duly noted. I'll have to check it out. I don't know. Party on Steve. That's great. Wayne's World and Halloween. Who would have thought those two movies would be connected in more ways than one? Michael Myers, Dana Carvey was in Halloween too. Hey, weird stuff. I totally forgot to bring some water with me tonight, so you don't see me drinking water. It's just I totally forgot to grab me some water. Hopefully my mouth doesn't get too dry. This would have been fine if I had a guest on, but I don't, so that's the way she goes. All right, let's talk Halloween ends here for a sec, guys, because it took me a while to see this. I told myself I'm not going to see this in theater because, you know, Halloween 2018. I saw Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills both in the theater, you know, not long after, you know, when they're hot in the theater. So it wasn't like opening night or anything, but it was like, you know, a week into their showings. You know, just to, yeah, I don't know. Halloween 2018, I thought it was okay. You know, maybe I'd put it after Halloween 4 in my rankings. I think it probably would. Halloween Kills. I don't know. There's things I like about it, things I don't like about it. That's for sure. You know, and you know, Evil Dies Tonight was. I, there's more than that though. There's more problems with Halloween Kills than that, and I've talked about it. So I'm not going to go into big reviews on those. But you know, they came out and it was kind of like, oh, okay. The thing that was saving those movies really for me was James Jude Courtney as Michael Myers. Definitely, hands down, the best Michael Myers that we've had since the original. Hands down. I don't think anybody was. I don't think there's many people that would argue that. Anyways, I mean that he definitely was. He made those movies good. Oh, great, no water. But even still, even after though, even though we had a great Michael Myers, great boogeyman, whatever you want to call him, you know, I still couldn't be like these are good movies. I don't feel like they were great movies for sure. Maybe they're okay. They were okay movies, you know. So then Halloween Ends comes out, and I knew that I heard it was all over that Michael Myers isn't in it very much. So I knew that I kind of knew the angle that they were going to go with it anyways. And I was always kind of like, I could either love this or I could hate it. Because I'm a big Halloween 3 fan. Had no Michael Myers in it, right? And, you know, this could either be a good thing or it could be a really bad thing. We'll see. but I'm not going to watch it in theaters, and I didn't. I was too busy at that time, anyways. So I finally I saw it over some streaming thing. I can't even remember what it was, but I finally saw it. I sat down and watched it. And the beginning I thought was kind of cool with the setup for the character of Corey. Beyond that, though, I really didn't like the movie, and it was not because of Corey Cunningham or the lack of Michael Myers. It was the lack of scary. It was just the lack of any atmosphere at all or any kind of interesting story and the fact that you might as well have just taken Michael Myers out of it because he felt really tacked on in that film. He felt very unnecessary, and the stuff that you had with him, some of the stuff you had with him was like, what? I was like, this young kid Corey who just got crap kicked out of him by some other, teenage punk. Now all of a sudden he's kicking the crap out of Michael Myers just to get his mask from. And I thought that was one of the worst things ever. And there's no element of surprise in it. I think that was a big problem I had. Even though I knew that they were trying to have, they talked about it in the trailers. Oh, this is actually Corey Cunningham, not Michael Myers. And I was like, okay, well now that's spoiler for it. But the movie itself did not try to hide that in any way. They show Corey Cunningham getting his mask, beating the crap out of Michael Myers for his mask, and I don't know, guys. I don't think I will. I don't think I will watch this movie again. I think this is a one-time watch for me, and it's not the only Halloween movie that's a one-time watch for me. Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie was a one-time watch. I saw his Halloween 1 twice, and I thought maybe it would grow on me the second time, and it really didn't. But I at least gave that one a chance. But I don't see me giving this one a chance again. This really just there was potential to make it kind of scary, and I felt like they really just made it a drama about this kid that was not introduced in the other films at all, and it was all about him. The movie lost me. It really did. That movie just really, really lost me. I was hoping to like it. I was hoping to like that angle. I was hoping that they're going to do something cool with it. Like, is this Michael or is this Corey? Or, there was never that moment where you thought, hey, this might not actually be Michael, or this could be Corey. Like, you always knew. You always knew. There's no element of surprise. There's no suspense. There's nothing interesting for me. Sure, there were some kills. Were they any good? Not to me, they weren't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I didn't care for any of the characters that got killed in it, so I'll see what you guys are saying in the chat. It wasn't good. I don't know. For me, it wasn't. And you know what? I just want to say this too. If you're one of those people that absolutely loved Halloween Ends, hey, hats off to you. I'm glad you could enjoy it. I thought there was a good chance I could enjoy it. I did actually think there was a good chance that I would find it enjoyable, but there was really, I would thought maybe I'd get more suspense out of this one, because there really wasn't a lot of suspense in the other two. Maybe that was the one thing that Halloween Kills did a little bit better than Halloween 2018, but they're both not very suspenseful movies. Not really. This one had like zero. I can't remember a single part where I was like, oh, where I was like, something big gonna happen. I don't remember a single part where I was like on the edge of my seat, suspense kind of thing. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And for that, I know a lot of modern crowds don't care about suspense. I do. I do, as guys can probably tell with the movie I'm making. It's going to be suspenseful, and if it's not, then I failed with it. you know, I don't know. I don't think I have a lot of suspense in the Sawyer Massacre, but I do. I would say this: I think we probably got more suspense in the Sawyer Massacre than any of these Halloween movies that have come out lately. Let me know your thoughts on that. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't know. I might be. Maybe I'm biased because I made the movie. But let's see what you guys are saying here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay. Joe says, "Yeah, I've heard that that John, he's up in Canada. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about getting. I think I know what you guys are talking about. I missed John, so some states turn a blind eye to that. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys are talking to each other, so that's okay. Let's see. Michelle says, "Hey, John, I was wanting to reach out to you in regards to that. Yes, that would be awesome. You guys, it's again more stuff. I'm reading stuff that you guys are chatting about yourself. Oh, hey, there's our buddy John, another John Henderson from Doomsday's Crypt. So we got John Evans and John Henderson in the chat at the same time. Thank you for joining, man. If talking Halloween is my least favorite in the franchise, yeah, man, it's this and Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 are pretty close for me. They're both one-time watches as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I thought there was a good chance I would like it too. I thought there was a good chance I would like it. Yeah, I heard a lot of negativity on it, so I shouldn't be surprised. But I remember watching Dave McRae's reaction out of the theater, and it didn't really give away much. I should have watched more. I should have watch more of him talk on it more. But his reaction out of the theater was like, this is like an anthology movie. Rather, this should have been the first anthology movie. And the way he talked about it still kind of sounded like I could end up liking it. And because I usually, I tend to agree with Dave McRae on a lot of opinions. And again, at the end of the day, these are all opinions, guys. So I just happen to have really hated this movie. I feel bad that I hate this movie. I feel bad that I hated it. Because I really try to avoid movies I hate. But again, it's in the Halloween franchise. Eventually I'm going to see it because, again, Halloween franchise is my favorite franchise. But again, after Halloween 4, that's where it ends. It's the greatest franchise in horror history after 4, up to 4, we'll say. Yeah. John from Behind the Fiends. Only part I liked was it had Darcy, the male girl from Joe Bob Briggs. Had the pleasure of chatting with her, and just a sweetheart. I've heard she's really nice. I can't even remember her in the movie though. I'm sure she is though. Joe says, honestly, Steve, Halloween Ends turned Mikey from the boogeyman embodiment of evil into a regular guy. Brutal ending. Almost as bad as Resurrection. I don't know. I think it's worse than Resurrection. I don't like Resurrection, but Resurrection is a movie I could probably at least watch and get a laugh out of, just for Busta Rhymes. But yeah, like the first 20 minutes of that movie are just absolutely horrendous, and I mean the rest of the movie's not good, but it's like I can at least laugh at that movie. But it is bad. Like Resurrection's pretty bad. Will I find myself rewatching that again at some point? Maybe. I don't see myself rewatching Halloween Ends again. I don't. We'll see though. David Gordon Green sucks at horror. Period. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, 2018 was okay-ish. I mean, it wasn't great, but. And I heard that the new Exorcist movie isn't not good. That's what I've heard. Now, I'm not a massive Exorcist. I mean, I like The Exorcist, but I don't love it like a lot of horror fans do. I guess because I don't really believe in any of that possession and all that kind of stuff. Um, I'm not saying it's not true, but I don't believe in it. I'll believe it when I see it, sort of thing. Um, but it sounds like it wasn't so good. And they're supposedly doing like a trilogy on that as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why. I'll tell you why, though, guys. Here is what Blumhouse is thinking. They are thinking, look at the money these movies made. More than it, and that's all they care about. I don't know if The Exorcist, though, has made money. See, this might be the turning point for Blumhouse and David Gordon Green, is because apparently this has not made a lot of money. Like, it's profited from its actual film production budget and the expenses that were incurred as far as promoting it and stuff like that. But what do you call it? The marketing expenses, I should say. So it's I think it's made its money back as far as that goes, but it hasn't put a dent in. Was it 400 mil, or is it 4? I can't remember how much. It was something crazy. Was it 4 billion? It was a lot of money that they spent on the rights. It hasn't even put a dent in that, not even a close. And they're going to try to put a dent in that trilogy when the first movie didn't do that well. It was way too much money for them to spend, for Blumhouse to spend on the property of that. But I don't know. I'll judge the Exorcist movie though when I see it. John said, Doomsday's John will say, Doomsday's Crips John says, ends ruined 2018 and kills. I know you're, what's it say? I know you're not your thing. I liked them, but ends killed that trilogy for me. I know people that loved it. Yeah, of course. And I know both. Yeah, not really my thing, but I've rewatched. I haven't rewatched Halloween Kills yet, but I probably will. But I have rewatched 2018. So anytime I'm rewatching a movie, that's at least a good sign. I can't say that I like it more after rewatching it a second time, though. I don't hate it more either. I mean, can't say hated it either. It's kind of just right in the middle for me. It's like a 5 out of 10. We'll say Halloween 2018 and probably Halloween Kills are both somewhere around a 5 out of 10 for me. Don't love them, don't hate them. But not great. How Kills and Ends both felt rushed and not thought out because the studio was wanting that cash grab. Funny thing about that though, I know that Halloween 2018 was pretty rushed because they set a date and they have to hit that date, and they had to start. They had to start filming like January of that year, and make sure to release the movie in October, which is tough to do for a studio movie. But they did. They made their date. So, but that was definitely rushed. But they did okay. They did okay with. I think 2018 is okay. There's definitely some things I don't like about it. I wish that they would have done a bit differently, but it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. The Kills had some bad moments, but was fun, and James G. Courtney was a beast. Yes, he definitely was a beast. James G. Courtney is the best thing about these new Halloween movies. Without him in them though, I bet my 5 out of 10 rating would go down to like a 3 out of 10 though, probably, because he's a big part of why they're watchable for me. He is the best Michael Myers since Nick Castle, and some would say he's even better than Nick Castle. That's subjective, and I'm probably biased because of my love for the original so much. But man, he got those movements down, those subtle movements. So that's awesome. David Gordon bowed out of the final 2 Exorcists. Oh, okay. He bowed out, stating he didn't have the time. Well, it's a way of saying he messed up. He dropped the ball. Shit the bed. That's basically what happened. Shit the bed. The reboots don't give you what you want. You do the Exorcist reboot, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for an Exorcist reboot, and I don't know if I'll ever see it. I might eventually see it. I just don't care enough about Exorcist. I know a lot of people will consider The Exorcist the greatest film in horror. They'll consider it the greatest horror film ever made. I definitely don't. It's an okay film. It has some good acting and stuff. Some really nice shot compositions. There's a lot of great things about it, but I think I'm just not as affected by it because I just don't believe any of that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of people that I've seen ghosts and I've seen people be possessed and all that stuff. And I'm not saying you're wrong. Maybe they have, but without me actually kind of seeing it to a point, doesn't work for me. Creepy clown sightings. Hey, sorry I was late. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not sure if that's Christian or not. I remember you changed your name. If it's not Christian, sorry. If it is, hey Christian. If not, though, let us know who you are again. I do recognize the creepy clown sightings name though, so you're either Christian or somebody who's been on the show who's been in our chat before. Yeah, shot the bed. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. To me, The Exorcist didn't age well. Yeah, it was shocking it definitely would have been shocking for its time. And I think that's a big reason. Anywho, okay, guys, let's talk third channel now because my name is on this film as a producer. You see my logo for Sequanda Films in the opening credits. So, I have to stand behind the work. But at the same time, I recognize that this was a movie shot, and maybe Michelle can confirm it, somewhere around $10,000. So, am I going to be somewhat easy on it? Sure. But yeah, it has a lot of great things going for it. Going for it. If you haven't seen the third channel, I'm going to keep this kind of non-spoilery for the most part, just in case you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't seen it yet, the link is in the description of this video. Go check out the third channel. It is a unofficial sequel to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And I'll say this, it's the best Halloween 3 fan film on YouTube. There's only 3, as far as I know, unless that's changed recently. I'll look it up and see if there's any others that show up. There's only 3 Halloween 3 fan films. I think they're all unofficial sequels, if I'm not mistaken. All of them are unofficial sequels. And 2 of them are both called... The 2 of them that aren't the third channel are both called Return of the Witch, which is probably the most generic possible name you can come up with for a sequel to Halloween 3. A little over 10K. So Michelle Blasky spent a little over 10K on the third channel. And that is fantastic to know that she pulled off what she did for 10K. But anyways, let's get back to this. So on YouTube, you can find Return of the Witch 1 and the other Return of the Witch, and you can find the third channel. And I can safely say that the third channel is by far the best one. Okay? By far the best one. Now, granted, one of them was made by some, 12, 13-year-old kids. So like a real fan film, like a fan film made truly just by fans. And that's cool. I'll give those kids some credit. But, at the end of the day, is it any good? No. Okay. So with this film, it's got some really positive things. But with the third channel, it's got some really positive things. It's got some pretty negative things, too. However, in my opinion, and it all depends on what you guys look for in a movie, I think. I think it always depends, because certain people they want this, or they want that, or they want that, or whatever. But in my opinion, the good definitely outweighs the bad, for sure. And a lot of the bad stuff is more budget than anything else. You could tell it's budget. You could just tell that they didn't have enough money. It's man, I wish that Michelle had at least double what she had, because I bet it would have, I bet she would have captured what she wanted to do a lot better. However, what would you guys like me to start with? Would you guys like me to start with the negatives or the positives about the third channel? I want to leave that open to what you guys think, because I could start with either. And I apologize, Michelle, if when I say the negative stuff about if it comes across like I hated it, because I know that tends to happen when I talk about the negative stuff in a movie. And you know, things might change a little bit on rewatch too, because I kind of I did rewatch something and I noticed I missed something. Negative first. Okay, let's get the negatives out of the way. I think my biggest gripe with this movie, with Michelle's movie, sorry, Michelle, I hope you don't hate me, but the cinematography. The cinematography is probably my biggest gripe with the movie. I know you're probably going to say sound. You probably thought I was going to say sound. But man, there's some lighting issues in this movie. There's some very poorly lit scenes. And I know, though, for a fact, like Michelle, you've told me that the cinematographer you had originally hired maybe shot for like one day or something, because there are a couple of scenes that aren't bad that you can tell. I mean, sometimes natural lighting works out well and stuff like that too, but there's a couple scenes like in certain rooms and stuff like that. There's definitely a few scenes where the lighting is just very grainy, and yeah, you could tell it just wasn't well lit. So no worries, Steve. Honesty is the best. So that is probably my biggest gripe about it. Again, you know, I don't think that's something that's going to change on rewatch, and I don't think it's something you can fix very well in post. I mean, you could do some different color grading and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, there was definitely some issues. Now, again, you can't be too hard on Michelle, because again, she was doing this on a $10K budget, and her DP. I think you and the camera guy were kind of taking turns as DP and stuff like that. If I recall you saying to me correctly, like you and a couple other grips or something like that were like trying to be the DP. But well, you know, you're either a DP or you're not, and if it's a camera you've never used before, that makes it even tougher. If this was somebody else's camera that you were using, so I mean that can always cause an issue too. So you know, it's probably the weakest aspect, at least for me, of the film, is the cinematography. But that's not the only gripe. there's some of the gripes are going to be a little bit smaller. So let's talk about the sound. The sound isn't great. I've heard way worse, though. I have heard way worse. In fact, I would say your sound is better than. This guy's a big supporter of mine. I'm a huge supporter of him. The sound on the third channel is better, to me at least, anyways. Again, I'm not the expert on sound, but to me the sound in this film is better than Valentine Bluffs, which is another fan film that I really liked. I was a huge supporter of. Tom Smith is going to do the SFX on my film, and again, I know the issues they had with the sound on that film. Like they basically had their whole crew just not show up on them, and sound being one of them. But yeah, the sound was pretty bad on that film. I'm not going to lie. But there's even worse. I watched another film from a friend of mine recently, and man, the sound was just horrendous in that. Like really bad all through the movie. And I won't even mention the name of that. It wasn't a fan film though. It was just a really low budget movie that I don't even know how much money he had to make that movie. So the sound was horrendous on that movie, but the sound on the third channel was not great. It definitely could have been better. I wish it was better, but again, this is budget stuff. I'm guessing, Michelle, you probably didn't have a top-notch professional sound recordist on set. It sounded like you might have had some gear, some decent sound gear. And this is I've experienced this before. I've done movies where we had good sound gear, we just didn't have the right people to operate. It was like, does anybody know how to use this? let's figure it out. Let's jimmy some stuff together. And, sometimes you get sound that's pretty good and other times not so much. There were a few scenes where I thought the sound was pretty good. Pretty good. Not like stellar or nothing like that, but it was like, okay, that's not bad. And there's other scenes where it almost felt like it sounded like they were recorded in a box or something like that. All the high end was taken off. Like if you had EQ'd it, I don't know if this is what you did. Probably not. Again, it's probably just how it was recorded, but it sounded like all the high end was just taken off. Again, probably just how it was recorded. As when you EQ stuff, you do take a bit of high end off because you get a lot of hissing in some areas, but you got to make sure you don't go too far. If you go too far, then it gets to sounding boxy, and you don't want it to sound boxy. But again, I'm not a professional sound engineer, but I know a little bit here and there. But again, you can't polish a turd when something's bad, was done bad. You can't fix it. You can try to make it a little bit better, but you're going to make it from like a 1 out of 10 to 1.5 out of 10. And that's the way she goes. Hey, there's Kimberly Walker from Macabre Cults, Classics, and Horror Podcast. Hey, Kimberly, thank you for tuning in. I couldn't do it at all, let alone for 10K. Well, yeah, 10K. I did try to make a film for 10K Canadian, a full feature. I did make it, and it still hasn't been released because of, again, all the issues we had. Primarily with sound. And I'll say this, Michelle's sound is better than my sound on my film. But again, I had even less money. I had 10K in Canadian dollars to make that movie. That's not good. That's not easy. So, but we also had to shut production down for 5. Yes, because of you had a positive COVID-19. That sucked. Like, you were hit with a lot of stuff. A lot of these indie films, like SAWYER Massacre, got hit with a lot of production problems. Third Channel got hit with a lot of unfortunate things that just you can't avoid these things. They're gonna happen. Sometimes bad things just you might get lucky and you get away with no bad stuff happening, but typically when you don't have a lot of money, you can't. There's a lot of things that are going to go unforeseen. And you're kind of gambling a little bit that everything will go all right. I know that recently here in not here right where I am, but in somewhere, I think it was on the Vancouver Island, a production there was an indie production. I don't know how big their budget was, but they had supposedly they were shooting a bank robbery scene or something, and they shot at a warehouse or something, they were outside the bank that was closed down. That's right, it was a closed down building, and they were running out of the bank, and they had guns, and they were pretending to shoot people or whatever, and they called the cops. These guys didn't have permits or anything like that, and that could have been a massive fine, but apparently they let them off with a warning. I'm like, wow, with guns and everything, like obviously prop guns, but still, I don't know what their budget was, but they said they had to. The cops said you got to get your proper paperwork, and you can't shoot this stuff, do this type of stuff without a permit, and they got shut down for, I don't know. I think they got shut down for a day or something like that, but they kind of got off with a warning. But that kind of stuff can happen. And, it's not just that. There's a lot of different stuff that can happen on an indie production, because another reason is we indie films, when you're making a movie at 10K, you definitely don't have enough to pay everybody. So you got to think of all the people you got to pay. And, you don't have enough. You might be able to, hey, can I pay you $25 a day or something like that? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. You might have some people that say, oh, yes, I'll do it for that cheap. But then they bail on you because they get a better gig or something like that. So, like I had a lot of people bail on me. And a lot of it was because we didn't have enough money to really pay these people well enough anyways. Not enough for they could get a gig for, 5 times more, then I'm out of here. And some people just ghosted me. They knew there wasn't a lot of money in it for them, and they didn't want to do the work. They thought it was too much work for too little money, and that's just what happened. That's the unfortunate thing about doing an indie film. If you can actually make it all work, then you've done amazing. And the fact that Michelle actually got this movie to it was fully filmed. An hour-long film. It's not like a full feature kind of. You kind of wish it had that extra half hour. I think that's another small gripe I would have with the movie, is I do wish that you had a little bit more time to develop. I would say develop the ending a little bit more. The ending feels a little bit underdeveloped. There needs to be more stakes involved. I feel like that's kind of a story element, but at the same time, it feels like it's there. It's just it needed time to breathe. That whole ending. That's a smaller gripe. That's a kind of a smaller gripe, because overall the story is one of the best things about this movie, in my opinion, about the Third Channel. There's a pretty cool story, and a very original story. I think it's not what you would expect, but I think certain elements just feel a bit rushed. And again, that's budget. That's what'll happen. That's what'll happen. What else are you guys saying? Yeah, okay, that's all the same. I don't think I missed any chats. I think that's about all the real negatives I had. I hope I didn't sound too harsh. Because ultimately I think it does have a lot of good things going for it. However, some of those things I know that cinematography is like number one for people, and sound is number one for people. Like they will be watching for that, and I won't be surprised. If it starts getting a lot of views, you're going to get some reviews out there where people talk about how bad the cinematography is and all that kind of stuff. Like this, the cinematography on SAWYER Massacre isn't perfect either. We had a good DP. It was just shooting in 9 days, and how do you light these? The basement was really tough to light. I don't think we ever really got good lighting in that basement. We could have got good lighting in that basement had we had more time. We needed more time in that basement. We probably needed a full day to just set up lighting in that basement, but we didn't have. We had a full 20 minutes to, get it as lit as we best possibly could. And I don't know if there's some weak parts in the SAWYER Massacre. There's some of that lighting in that basement. Ooh. Not just the basement. There's a couple other scenes I wish we could have lit better than we did. But again, it's not that we didn't have a competent DP. It's just that's the pressure of shooting a movie in 9 days. It's not going to be perfect. A short, sure, 9 days. It was a 30-minute film. I bet we could have had great lighting. But not going to happen with an hour-and-a-half movie. So don't blame. Hey, and our cinematographer was nominated for an award for the movie, so I guess it can't be that bad. I'm just kind of nitpicky because I knew I wanted certain things and we couldn't get them. But Charlie Brady's a great cinematographer. Charlie's awesome. But anyways, okay. Anybody else have any comment? Anybody else want to comment anything they didn't like about the Third Channel? I'd be interested to hear. Michelle, who did the voice on the speakers around the town? That's a good question, actually. Good question. I am interested to know who did that. Let's see if Michelle answers. No answer. Here we go. No, not at all, Steve. I have to take responsibility for both the good and the not so good. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, and me too. Any indie filmmaker has got to be able to own up for like, hey, this wasn't. And it's not that we did a shitty job. If you get the movie made, you did not do a shitty job. You know, anybody who can actually go and make a movie, hats off to them. You know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's not easy. So I mean, making that, I wish we could have made your Indiegogo go better. And, you know, we did. I don't know if there's anything I could have done to push things forward. I don't know. Again, I'm not a perfect expert on it either, but again, I've had decent success with my stuff, so I don't know. Maybe I wish you had at least double the money that you did. I wish you had at least 20 grand to make the movie. But you know, it is what it is, and I think not all of that 10K was Indiegogo. You really had a hard time raising money on Indiegogo. I know some of your crew and cast were like, who became executive producers, just donated money, donated their time, all that stuff. That's amazing that they did that. And that shows you that you have something. You know, you definitely have something. But yeah, who did that, Michelle? Who did the voice over the speaker? By the way, Creepy Clown Sighting says, Michelle, who did the voice on the speakers around the town? Can you tell us who that was? By any chance, Michelle? Joe says, you both did awesome. You both brought something to the masses that couldn't be done with corporate meddling with movies. Being a great experience on both. Look forward to the future. Yeah, couldn't agree with Joe more. The voice on the curfew was Wendy Westberg. Wendy West. Am I reading that right? A little heart button cuts off the last of. Both had a canoe. Wendy Westberg. We both had a canoe. Is it we both had a canoe? Sorry, I can't even see because we got this heart button in my way. Probably could see if I go here. Just want to make sure I'm reading it. No, the heart button is still there too. Doesn't matter what screen I go to. Somebody else has to chat for me to read that whole thing. Oh. Who both had a canoe. The voice on the curfew was Wendy Westberg, who both had a canoe. Huh. Cameo and the voice of the curfew. Okay, Wendy Westberg, who played Teddy in the. Okay. Now we know. That's pretty cool. She sounded like Jamie. Yeah, it was a good voice. It worked really well. Definitely worked well. Very cool. All right, let's talk about the things that worked really well for the third channel. Again, I think it had a really compelling story. Even though there's certain things I wish were fleshed out a little bit more. Even though some of the story may have felt like it dragged a little bit. Again, I like a slow burn though, so that doesn't bother me so much. I like a good slow burn where you're kind of learning the layers of the story more. And I think she did that well. So I can imagine some people thinking, boy, this is a draggy movie, even though it's only an hour long, because it is kind of a slow burn. Well, the original Halloween 3 was kind of a slow burn, kind of. There you go. I just answered. What do you mean you just answered? Okay. I don't know if you're talking to somebody else. I like the mask design and the kill. Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, the masks were cool that you did in the third channel. That's another thing I really liked about it. Good mask. Did you ever sell those masks, Michelle? Maybe somebody could buy them off you. Those are pretty cool screen used masks. I don't know if anybody ever bought those though. Where was I going? Oh yeah, I was talking about the story. Yeah, I liked the story. I think it was a really cool story, really good character that you wrote for the lead protagonist there, and the acting. I could say, you know, the acting is a positive and a negative. There are some performances that were a little bit weak, but I think your key players, Vanessa Freeman as Jessica and Brandon were both amazing. Were really good in those roles. But there was a couple of the smaller roles that were like, okay, that's a little goofy. But when you got two strong leads, I think that's why the movie really stands up in an acting sort of way, like as far as the acting goes. So I really like what she brought, and I really like what Brandon brought as well. Really, and again, having him from County Cork, Ireland, brings that certain authenticity that you need to have for a movie like this. So that was really awesome. So the acting was really good. The story was like those are the most important things for me in a movie: the acting and the story. Are those things really well done? And to me, they were done pretty well in this. Again, could things be better? Sure. I feel like they needed to tack on at least probably a good 30 minutes just to develop. Maybe not. Maybe you don't need quite that much. Maybe 15, 20 minutes. You could probably flesh things out a little bit more. There's a little bit of conflict in there, but then there's a fast change towards the end, and I feel like it needs a little something in there, but. For the most part, though, I mean, you got a point. You got across what you were trying to say, so that's what I would say. I liked about it. I liked all those things about it. What else? Oh, can't forget this. The music. The music was awesome. And that's Keith McCoy, right? That did the music for it. Keith obviously must be a fan of Halloween 3 because he really got the feel of Halloween 3 with that music. It was awesome. The music was fantastic. So can't forget about Keith McCoy's music. Are we able to buy the soundtrack there, Michelle? If anybody wanted to buy the soundtrack, would they be able to do that? Let me know. It was really well done. The whole score really felt like Halloween 3. So definitely captured the tone with that. So there you go. Good acting, good story, great music. It's very important. Yep, good acting, good story, and I'm good. Yeah, those are the most important things for me. For me personally, But again, some people really look for great cinematography in these films, and some of these movies give you great cinematography. Some of these low budget indie films manage to give you great cinematography, but there's usually something else that's really bad. It's either a really bad story or the audio is bad. I've seen great cinematography but terrible audio, and I'll take the other way around any day of the week. I'll take great audio over bad cinematography any day. And I think that's why this probably works. This movie works a little bit better for me is because the audio is better than the cinematography is in the third channel. Again, it's not fantastic, but I can tolerate the audio in the third channel. There's a couple scenes where I think the music drowns out the dialogue a little bit. So I wish there was something that could be done with mixing. But again, that's maybe you could have just brought the music down a little bit, or I don't know if you could have turned the dialogue up. But again, just if it's recorded a certain way, there's only so much you can do to bring it up before it starts. You start having problems. And I have no idea how many filters you must have had on that audio. I have no idea, but on the dialogue. But sounded like there's probably at least some sort of filters on some of it. But that's why it works more for me. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but I'd probably give it somewhere around a 7. I mean, I just somewhere in that area. Yeah, I'm a tough rater though. I'm a tough rater. By the way, if you haven't rated the movie yet on IMDb, let's get them up to like 100 ratings. I think she's at about 80 right now. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. Link is in the description. And Michelle is working on a director's cut that will have some different things. I don't know exactly what you tell us, Michelle. I don't know what you're doing. Some different things to make it better, I guess. But overall, I liked it though. I thought it was pretty dang good. and you did a great job. And you should be proud of yourself, Michelle. It's a huge accomplishment, especially on the kind of budget you had, making an hour-long film on 10K. 10K. Holy crap. Cool. Mind you, I don't have a lot more for my movie so far. I mean, I do have more, but not that much more. So we do still have an Indiegogo live for Unseen. I haven't done a plug at all tonight, so I'll do it now. We still have an Indiegogo live for Unseen. It's done a little bit better lately, but I've had more time to promote it lately. Over the last week or so, we've raised a few more bucks, had a couple bigger backers, so put a little bit more in. So let's keep it going. Let's hit some stretch goals. If we can hit some stretch goals, we'll just make the movie that much better. That's all there is to it. And I announced on Facebook Live yesterday that it looks like the first day of filming for Unseen is going to be April 16th of next year. April 16th. So it'll be, not that is going to matter so much for you guys, but maybe, maybe after we're done shooting for the day, we'll be able to send some cool snapshots or at least some BTS stuff, on social media, just so that, you get a feel that everything's happening, everything's coming together. There's some cool stuff going on. So, anywho, guys, that's that. That's the third channel. Go check it out. Give it a rating on IMDb when you can. So now I want to close this conversation about the Halloween franchise with what do we do next? Okay, we know the rights of the franchise has now been sold to Miramax. Now, I believe it's just TV rights. I could be wrong. If anybody in the chat can confirm whether it's just TV rights and not movie rights or both, let me know. So we know that Miramax plans on making some sort of TV series with it, which could be good. There's something you could do something with it. I'm sure you could. I would have to think about what it would be, though. There's so many interesting ways you could do a TV series, but I'm open to it. Miramax, I don't know. What has Miramax done lately in the horror category? I have to double check my Miramax horror films just to see if they've done anything that I can at least say that I at least half liked. You never know. Oh, Michelle says, yes, working on the director's cut, working on the dialogue. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's just TV rights, says Kimberly. Yeah, just TV rights that Miramax has. So the movie rights, who knows? We still don't know if anything's happening with that. Because I know A24 was like a big contender at one point, but now I haven't heard anything since. Now I don't know, because when they announced the TV rights to Miramax, you're like, okay, who's got the movie rights though? I still don't know. We still don't know nothing. That was a couple weeks ago, at least a couple weeks ago, if not more. And I think at least maybe 3 weeks ago now. I don't know. It was a while ago. So let me ask you guys, what would you guys like to see if we got another movie? What would you guys lean towards doing another Michael Myers movie? Just, retcon everything again, start fresh. It can be totally different this time, whatever, Again, there's I'm not saying there isn't potential, that's for sure. There is always potential, but it does feel like people are running out of ideas. I think there's something you could do. Or should we go back to this anthology idea that Halloween 3 did? Make something completely different. I think there's huge potential for both. Excuse me, guys. I think there's huge potential for both. But I would lean more towards the anthology at this point. I personally would lean more towards doing an anthology. There's so many things you can do with Halloween. Halloween is the season. I really feel like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch really proves that. there was no more Halloween themed movie than Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which is why I always continuously argue with people saying, "Oh, they should." The people that say they should have called it something else. They shouldn't have stuck Halloween to it. But Halloween is the main point of this movie. You know, it's actually in the plot, whereas the other, like those other movies, it's just set on Halloween. You know, it really is. There's really nothing beyond that. You know, Strode could be babysitting anybody on any day, but they set it on Halloween. So that's, to me, that's why. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. I'm not saying that the original Halloween shouldn't be called Halloween. It should. It feels like Halloween. You know, you get that feel of Halloween just from the way it's shot. It's great. But but is Halloween as essential in the plot of that movie as it is in Halloween 3? I don't think it is. Personally, I think if you try to remove the Halloween element from Halloween 3, it wouldn't really work. I don't know, what else would you do? You know, what else would you do? I'm sure you can think of something, but would it be as good? It just wouldn't be. So I mean, for me, that's why you gotta call it Halloween. You gotta. There's so much you can do with Halloween. There's so much history behind Halloween. You know, so I mean, what would you do? I don't know. Have some sort of Halloween party or something. Have some sort of massacre happen at a Halloween party. I don't know. There's different things you can do. A haunted house sort of thing. I don't know. You know, if I put my thinking cap on, I'm sure I could come up with some cool ideas. But you know, there's a lot of cool things you could do. There really is. So I don't know. Zeno's Curious Goods. I love Friday the 13th TV series. I haven't seen the TV series. I wasn't even sure if that had come out yet, but I guess it has. So I saw the trailer for it though, and it looked good. And I'm not a big Friday the 13th fan, so. So I thank you for tuning into the chat there, Zeno's Curious Goods. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know if this is your first time here or not. If it is, make sure you click that like button. The idea makes me think of Friday the 13th TV series. Oh, that's good. Movie should pick up immediately after 1978. Okay. So when you say that, do you mean like pick up the next Halloween, like Halloween of 1979, or like Halloween 2, like the original Halloween 2 did, pick up on the same night? I would lean more towards going a year later. Again, the problem you would have with that, like, if I was going to do a Michael Myers Halloween, I'll call it the Boogeyman Halloween, a Boogeyman Halloween, I would probably. There's a tough one because if you do it too soon out, if you set it in like 1979 or something like that, people are going to want. People will expect Loomis to be in it, at least Loomis. Maybe not Jamie Lee, maybe not Laurie Strode necessarily, because if we're getting rid of that brother and sister angle, anything's possible. You wouldn't think that there's any real connection between them two other than what they had on that night, and so you wouldn't necessarily miss her being in the movie, but you would still expect Dr. Loomis to be in there. So with that being said, now the technology is obviously there, as we saw with Halloween Kills. I'm not sure if it really worked, but for Halloween Kills with the Loomis, I mean, a lot of people liked it. Again, the dialogue was horrendous there. Did the evil kill again? Did the evil kill again? That didn't work for me. But you know, hey, it was Loomis. It looked like Loomis. I mean, you can find anybody that can look like Loomis, and Bill Russell might be the guy for you. I don't know, Bill. If you're still in the chat, hey, I'm plugging you, man. Bill Russell can make a good Sam Loomis, at least as far as his looks. Can he act like him? Can you pull off a good Donald Pleasance voice? Can you do the accent? I'd love to hear it. But I think you got the right look for it. So you have that one thing you got to consider, though, is are you going to be able to put Loomis in it? If it's set at least a good 10 years after, like Halloween 4 was, or better yet, just thinking of this on the spot here, he killed his sister in 1963. That was his first killing spree. Well, not really killing spree, killed his sister. But, you know, his first killing moment as a killer was 63. 15 years later, 78. 15 years later, 93. Oh, something different. Michael kills every 15 years. Set 93. You could believe that Loomis is dead by then. I mean, Donald Pleasance died around a little bit after then, but not much after then. So you could believe that Loomis is gone, but maybe he's taken somebody else under his wing, and this person believes that he's going to come back 15 years, Halloween night, something like that. There's something cool that could be done there. There's something cool. I always kind of like the idea that the end of the original Halloween, Michael Myers is just gone, just like he's disappeared. He's gone. He's gone, but he's not. His presence is still there, and it's just 15 years. Hey, just saying. That's what I would do. I don't know. Maybe that's what I do. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. I'm kind of liking that idea now, though. Every 15 years, Michael, he comes back. The Shape, the Boogeyman. Don't even call him Michael Myers. Let's leave him kind of nameless, like they did in the original. I don't know. That might be too tough, though. It's become such a household name. I don't know if people could constantly call him the Boogeyman or the Shape. I'd rather that, though. The Boogeyman. The Shape. Anywho, what do you guys think of that idea? Yeah, do something like that. 15 years after. 93 is a cool time period, too. I remember 93 very well. So, just saying. Again, you know, you got to have a budget, though, because, you know, 93, it makes it a period piece. And so, you know, that adds to a budget trying to make everything look like 1993. The cars, the fashion, the houses, you know, a lot of these modern houses, got to make sure you can't put them in the movie. But, yeah, studios have the money to do all that, though. They sure do. I would like to see Gary Hunt from the Part 2 officer. Yes. What was it? Hunter Von Leer, I believe his name was. Isn't he actually, he was on like Deadliest Catch or something like that. Because Michael killed a family member or a resident. Because Michael killed a family member or a resident. I know Michael killed Annie, which was the sheriff's daughter. Killed a family, but like maybe like a hypothetical thing. Like, what if he came back because of that? Yeah, it'd be cool. I don't know if the actor is still acting though. Like again, he was on a fishing show for a while. He was on, I think it was Deadliest Catch or one of those ones, Shark Hunters or some damn thing. Wicked Tuna. It wasn't Wicked Tuna. I would know if he was on Wicked Tuna because I kind of used to watch that religiously. And if I ever get a new season on Disney Plus, I'll probably watch it again. I know I feel bad. I actually like a fishing show, but there's something about Wicked Tuna. I don't know what it is. There's something about Wicked Tuna. Anywho, you guys watch Wicked Tuna? All right, folks. Let me know your thoughts, though. I'm interested to where would you go with a new Halloween movie? So much has happened. You know, they've done so many. They've taken it so many angles with the Halloween franchise. You know, you've got so many different things you can consider canon. This series, Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 as a series. Then you got 1, 2, H2O and Resurrection, I think, as like a separate series. So that still includes Halloween 2. Then you've got the Rob Zombie remakes. Then you've got original Halloween, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends as their own sort of thing as well. And then Halloween 3 is its own movie, its own separate movie. I'd love to see what they could do with that, an anthology. I don't know if a studio would be ambitious enough to do that, though. Again, they love that household name. They love that Michael Myers is just he's one of the top 3. He's he's Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers. Those are the top 3 horror villains. And I think a studio would be too chicken to abandon that. I think so. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just hope that if they do a Michael Myers movie, I'll say this. Here's my 2 requests. If they do a Michael Myers movie. 1, this is a given. Bring back James Hugh Courtney. Give the guy a chance to be Michael Myers or Boogeyman in a good Halloween film, like a really good one. A really good one. 2, give us some suspense. Don't make it all about the gore. Sure, I understand you got to put some gore in there. But bring back some suspense. Give me some suspense. Give me some atmosphere. Give me some moody lighting. Some really creepy, moody kind of lighting. Anyways. Creepy Clown Sightings bring back John Tate and Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris cameo like Victor Crowley. Bring back John Carpenter to direct it. Hey, I heard that John Carpenter's directing a new movie now. I don't know if he would want to direct another Halloween movie, though. Maybe he would write it, though. I don't know. Any chance you could convince John Carpenter to write a new Halloween movie? That'd be pretty cool. Gotta get going here, Steve. Thank you so much for all your feedback. Hey, no worries, Michelle. I hope not. It didn't come across too harsh. I hope it didn't. But again, I totally understand your budget and everything like that. It's amazing you pulled off what you did. It really is. So, hats off to you, Michelle. Congrats to all your success. Let's push that film. Let's get it more views. Let's get it more ratings on IMDb. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. I mean, you just want those ratings to come in so that people see it more. It gets that IMDb push, and it gets more people watching the movie on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So I think the Sawyer Massacre is, it's close. It's still a little bit off, but it's closing in on 500. I think we have about 436 we have as far as ratings on IMDb. I believe so. Some good, some bad. It's all good. I think, the overall aggregated rating we have right now is a 6 out of 10, although we have an unweighted rating of 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. And I don't know how IMDb does that. I don't know why they. I guess they put more weight in some ratings over others. I don't know. No idea. But all I know that it shows as a 6 out of 10 or 5.9 now. I think it dropped down to whatever. But the unweighted rating is 7.9. So the actual ratings of all those, if you combine them, it's actually 7.9. Just saying. So it's deceiving. That's the rating that really matters. The unweighted, the one they don't show. You have to be a member of IMDb Pro to see that. Which I am. Actually, I'm supposed to renew mine. Or did I? Maybe I paid for 2 years. I can't remember. I don't know. I haven't got some notification or anything saying that I need to renew. So, anywho, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Creepy Clown Sighting says, he brought Michael Myers and Laurie's to the world. He should take them out. I agree. You know what? I like that. I liked Halloween Ends, but I also love Friday the 13th Part 5. Yeah, I'll probably say this. I liked Friday the 13th Part 5 a lot more than I liked Halloween Ends. If you were watching earlier, I kind of ranted on Halloween Ends. Hey, but I respect anyone's opinion. I know that some people love Halloween Ends and other people hate it. I just happen to be in that camp that really hated it. I was hoping to like it, but you can go back and rewatch, and you can hear why all the reasons why I didn't care for it. But it's somewhere around the 30-minute mark of this, I think, where I chatted about Halloween Ends, somewhere in that area. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for me. Hopefully I'll be back soon. I'm not going to wait another 6-7 weeks before the next one. Maybe, it was a long time. Too long. I'll definitely do one before Christmas. Definitely do one before Christmas. I'll say that, and then it'll come around, and I won't get to do it. No, I will. I'll do another one before Christmas. All right. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and you guys have yourselves a good night.